Now we need to understand the idea of burning the red heifer. How that's a concept of going upwards. And the concept is that's brought in Zohar, Kadosh, Parshas Chukas, Daf Kuf Pei Beis, Daf Kuf Pei Amud Beis, para the Kabilas means smola, that the heifer receives from the left side. Uman who lismola, sure, and who is to the left side? The ox. Kamadas amris upnei shor mea small, like it says that the face of the ox is to the left side. Ki small dochev yamin mikareves, because the left side pushes away. The left pushes away, and the right hand draws close. V'yesh l'mayla b'chinas yaminu small tifrotzi. And above you have this concept of you shall break through the right and the left, or that from the right side you draw down the flow in a revelation of light. And that's the idea of the right side draws close. The concept of revelation. Therefore, the external forces cannot receive a nurturance from the concept of the right side, because the flow that comes in a way of drawing close and dearness, that can only go to the side of holiness. You don't draw close something negative. And like it says, I loved you. Hashem says, and says Hashem will shine His countenance with us, which is not the case with the shells. They only receive from the external concept. From the back, like someone who throws it over his shoulders, and therefore they don't have a nurturance from this right side that draws close. Exactly the opposite. It's written that your right hand cracks and breaks the enemy. It's written, and therefore by the destruction of the temple it says that he pulled back his right. Look what's brought in the Maamar about it, that it was by him. And Amon and from in the concept of then your right hand from inside of your chest, take it out. Small, but rather the nurturance of the external comes from the left side, because the left side pushes away, because the flow that comes from the left side and is not in a fashion of the right side that draws close, but rather pushing away, that pushes away the flow, that it shouldn't flow fully. And therefore, through the many confinements of this flow, pushing it away after pushing it away, it's possible that the external should be able to receive this. And that's the concept of the heifer that receives from the left side, the Perish, Dinim, and so forth. Vain bePeresh Ramaz, Sham Bezor Sham, Likutei Torah of Parshas Chukas, Vain Bezor, Pekudei Dafrish Chavdal Ramon Bez, bePeresh Ramaz Sham, Bezor Parshas Achre, Dafayin Tesamon Bez, Min Yanika Sachitzoni Mikava small. Look in those Maamar Mekobos in Zohar. V'zeu inyan mitzvahs paraduma takin inyan zeh, and that's the concept of the mitzvah of the red heifer to fix this idea. V'sheva hazayos noch, so because it purifies the impure. V'sheva hazayos nochach pnei oil moed, and the 7 sprinklings towards the entrance to the oil moed. Hainu li lahalos pnimiyusa, that is to elevate its inner concept, that's to elevate its inner concept, which is the good that's drawn and spreads out inside of it, that comes from the face, the countenance of the ox in the supernal chariot. That's its spiritual source that's in it, that you can elevate out and up and upwards. Lachziro, laloso, and to return it and to elevate it, l'shor, back to its root, and then you burn the heifer lasosa. So the sprinkling is a concept of halah, of elevation, to the oil moed, because you do this pachutz in the outside, in the haramishcha, or whatever, facing outside of the mikdash, facing the mikdash. So it's outside, bringing it from the chitzonius towards the oil moed, towards upwards. And then you burn it, lasosa efer, and to make it ashes. Ha'inyan, the concept is dehine al derech mashal kishesorf yimetzim. For example, when you burn wood of al yidezeh nasim efer, the wood becomes ashes. Sha'efer hu mehuso v'atzmuso shel ha'etz hanisraf, that the ashes are the very essence of the burnt wood. Ki hakol hayamin ha'afar, because everything comes from the earth, from the ashes, from the offer, from the earth. Only that you have three other fundamental elements that it became composed of: Eish, Maim, Ruach, the fire, the water, and the air, Shahayu Ba'etz, that were in the tree, that were in the wood. Chalfu v'kalu ba'ashana misava markavasan. And as it gets burnt, they go up and are destroyed through the smoke that's created from their mixture, one and the other, as they get burnt. V'yesod hadalid shaya be'etz, and the fourth element that's in the tree, shizu atzmuso, which is its essence, shuha afar shaba, which is the earth that's in it, hu ani sharkayim, that's what remains. V'hu ha'efer, and that's the ashes. V'hu gamkin inyan chomer v'tzura, and it's also the concept of the matter and form. Shebechol davar yesh chomer v'tzura, that in each thing there is the matter of it and the form of it. V'chomer ha'pashut shel ha'etz, and the essential, simple matter that the tree is composed of. Hu yisod ha'afar is the element of earth. And the other elements of fire, wind, and water are only the image of the tree. And through burning the tree, remains only the matter of the tree, its simple matter that it's composed of. And so too, in the service of Hashem, you have a similar idea. And that's because the animalistic soul, it gradates from from the countenance of the ox on the left side, just like the concept of the heifer that receives from the left side. So internally our animal soul also does. And just like from the concept of the heifer is drawn afterwards to the external, so too from the emotions of the animalistic soul is drawn the darkness and the desires to the pleasures of this world, in permissible or in forbidden, God forbid. Now when a person wants and desires something from the concepts of this world, hagashmim, in this physical world, so that thing that you desire becomes a vessel for your will and your desire in your heart, in the heart of man. And so to the letters of thought and speech, that you speak and you think and speak, how to achieve that thing. Hingam ken kelim laharatzanahu. They also become vessels to that desire. So your thought and your speech in that thing, it all becomes a vessel for all your efforts. Ve'koshech in ha'maiseh, and how much more so any actions that you do towards that thing, so that becomes a vessel for your will, shein kulam bechinas kelim v'levushim laratzon, that they all become vessels and garments to that will, gam heim kemo tzura lechomer le'etzem haratzon, like an image to the fundamental matter, which is the essence of your ratzon. Now here you have an interesting concept, because the ratzon, which is usually a higher idea, is now the lowest level. It's the chomer. The chomer is usually the coarse physical part of it, whereas the description is more ethereal. And here it's the other way around, that the chomer, the main body of this concept, is considered the ratzon, the will, and all the kelim, the vessels, are your thought and speech and action and so forth, are its form. So kemotzura lechomer, they're like an image to the fundamental element of this thing. That's a haratzon. Shehu al derech mashal kamar chomer al pashut, that it is allegorically like the simple matter before it's composed of the tzura. Vehem hem hatzura, and the thought, speech, and action are the form for the yosrotze kach v'kach chulu, to want this and this in that way and so forth, and to get it in this and that way. V'hine etzem haratzon, now the essential concept of this will, af keshinis labish b'tay v'ra, even when it's enclosed in a bad desire, hurra gomor, it's a bad, it's complete bad. Nonetheless, this essence of the strength of will is not a sin or bad on its own, because in its essence it's only the strength of desire, and it can be a strength of desire towards good, just as now he desires bad, but the bad is that he's leaned his strength, his ability to desire bad, and so the form has become very bad. So the chomer itself is pashut, and it's just the strength of desire, and it's only the tzura that has leaned it towards the bad. And it's been enclosed in soiled garments. This chomer is ad shenim shach l'sur mimitzvasasei, to the point where he's going away from doing the positive commandments, so l'tayvos le'isser, or to desire bad. But from the strength of desire on its own, it has the ability to flip his heart, to flip your heart, mean hakatze el hakatze, from one end to the other, to desire and love and have a inner will to cleave to Hashem, like that, like it says, my soul desires you, just like a person loves and desires the life of his soul and so forth. because in truth, the ability to desire within the animalistic soul on its own, its root and its source is in supernal holiness, from the countenance of the ox in the supernal chariot. So that's why you can flip your desires towards something positive and take the chomer and give it a new tzura of thought, speech, and action towards holiness. Like it's brought in another place. Only in the descent of the levels, and they're falling down in these breaking of the vessels. It's drawn down that you should also have a strength and ability to desire towards something forbidden, towards a sin, even though it's coming from Pnei Shor in the Merkava, Zos Chukas Hatorah. And therefore, when you return towards Hashem, that's why you are able to flip from one side to the other. That even that ability to desire that was enclosed in a bad desire, we should return to the love of Hashem. Just like it was in its root in the concept of the countenance of the ox, in the face of the ox. Which is not the case with the actual deed that's bad, that you desire, because that action is actually bad. On its own, it cannot be included in holiness. And there's no way to fix it, only getting rid of it and nullifying it, getting rid of it from the world. You shouldn't have such actions in the world. And that's the concept of burning the heifer. They should only have left over the ashes, the fundamental ability to desire, and not its form, its tzura, which is the enclothement in actual bad. That the efer shu uhu inyan etzem midos, the ash is the concept of the essential emotions, the nefesh bahamis of the animalistic soul. That's the ability to desire. Al derech mashal kanal, for example, like we said, that it's this simple matter without form. But the image and the soiled garments, that this ability to desire was enclosed in, will be exchanged and gone completely. That is, that the ability to desire will not be enclosed in them, owed anymore. Not in thought. That you'll completely remove from your mind thinking about and speaking about this thing, and how much more so in action, God forbid. And to close your eyes from seeing the bad, and the like, to push the other side, to do the opposite, and against the desire of the animalistic soul, in all the senses, in sight and hearing and so forth, and thought, speech, and action. Now through this pushing, that you nullify the vessels that this will is enclosed in, that in which this will is enclosed, and to push them away from you completely. That's compared allegorically to the burning of this heifer, that the three elements of fire, wind, and water, that were included and composed this idea, that they got exchanged and went away through the burning. And is left only its fundamental element, which is the earth, which is the earth. And so too, when it was divided, from it, divested from it, the soiled garments of thought, speech, and action, the ha'isr of this forbidden thing, min ha'nefesh ha'bahamis, from the animalistic soul, and it remains only the essential ability to desire, the nefesh ha'bahamis, of the animalistic soul, and its essence, and is no longer enclosed and composed of the thought, speech, and action of what's forbidden, and that's the concept of this ashes. It's in its fundamental ability of desire. Then you can take this ability to desire and flip it from one side to the other, from a bad love to a love of Hashem, like it says, and you love with all your hearts, with your two yetzers, that also your bad inclination, will return to loving Hashem, mamash truly, and that is from the concept of pushing, you'll come to the concept of flipping. Darkness to light, from making the effort to divest yourself from these ideas in thought, speech, and action, you'll come to actually changing this desire from darkness to light. And this is the idea of listen, Israel. Shem ayin, that it's made of the two words shem, the name, and the letter ayin. The ayin rabasi. Now this giant ayin, this big ayin of the word Shema, Zayin Midos de Kedusha, is the Gematria 70, which is composed of 7 times 10, corresponding with the 7 emotional attributes of holiness. So the emotions that are holy, that's what we're going for. That the Chomer should desire should have holy emotions. Hakluli miyod, each, so the 7 composed of 10 each, vein ayin nefesh Yaakov, and they correspond with the 70 souls of Yaakov. Shema Yisrael, so the souls of Yisrael. And through the breaking of the vessels, like we're saying here, that the thought, speech, and action are vessels. So you have also the breaking of these vessels for these 7 emotions. Hanal b'chinas zayin melachim kadmayin deto. These are the concept of the 7 early kings of Tod, that it's Edom, of the land of Edom, Yimloch v'Yamos chulu, that he became king and he died. Nishavu mizeh hamidus raos gam kein ayin. So you have from this also the bad emotions is a concept of 70, perhaps like the 70 nations. And you need to elevate these 7, or like the 7 nations of Canaan. And you need to purify and elevate these bad emotions to their source, to their root, to the concept of the big ayin. In Kedusha, was there Shem ayin, and that's the concept of the name of ayin, or Sham ayin. Because it's written, and you will request, you will search and supplicate from there, Havaya. So Sham, the concept of from there, that's where you elevate these emotions, because you're searching from Hashem from there, from Misham Daika, specifically from there. Karu Sham Paro Melech Mitzrayim. They called there Paro, the king of Mitzrayim. Kilosh and Sham hu makom ha-sitra acha. Because what does it mean over there? It means not over here. Like, I guess, Niskado Hayasham. In the Sitra Achra, it's the place where you have the other side. So Misham Ayin, so Sham Ayin means from there you elevated the Ayin. Kiloshan Zehu Davar Mishyochel Mamish Laharos Betzbo. Because Zeh, the language of Loshan Zeh, is something you can point to with your finger. Asher Yomar Alav Ki Hu Zeh, that you'll say that this is it. When you can only do that to the Holy One, blessed be He. That's the only one where you have a concept of Zeh. Like you'll say, this is my Kale, and I'll praise Him, and so forth. Because the whole earth is full of His honor, so you can point to Him specifically because He's the true existence, and He's the true everywhere. And He's truly everywhere, and this Achra doesn't have existence, so you can't truly point to it. But the place and dwelling of the shells is very far away. It's a far away concept. It's something we're merachek, we push away, and belongs pushed away. Therefore it's called over there. That is to say, very far below, deep below. And that's why it says that over there they will die in the desert, and so forth. That's the place of death and the breaking of the vessels. So that also gives lends a explanation to the concept of the masos as well, within this context of the Shviras HaKelim, that traveling through the desert is elevating the broken vessels that are Misham. Sham Yamus refers to the desert. Sham, that's why it's called over there. Okay. Because it's a place of death and breaking of the vessels. And that's what it means on your request. From there, your Elokai, and you'll find Him. Even Misham, because there's no place devoid of Him. And therefore also from the concept of over there, you can find Havaya. Through your requesting Havaya, litzokel Havaya betzarlo, through crying out to Havaya in your pain, from the depth of your heart. Bechinas tshuva, in the concept of repentance, and then you'll flip darkness to light, and bechinas sham nasa shame, and from the concept of there becomes shame ayin, the name of ayin shmis Allah chayus l'shorsho, that you change it from over there, from klipos to shame, to a name, I guess the shame havaya. Shmis Allah chayus l'shorsho, that you elevate the life force to its source. And this is the concept of burning the ashes of the heifer burning the heifer to ashes, getting rid of the bad to elevate it to its source, to take that koach matayva to elevate it to the ayin of kedusha, of shame. Rapach nitzutzin. Shem rapach nitzutzin v'shem ban. Like it says in Pri Etz Chaim, that the word shame is composed of the 288 sparks as well as the gematria of Shem Ban. So together that's 340. Gematria Shem v'hem misalim l'shorsh and bayin rabasi, and these sparks are elevated through the Shem Ban. The concept of the name is Malchus, and Shem Ban is the Birur Rishon, Ban Gematria Behema. You're elevating it to its source in the 70, in the concept of the big I and the big 70 concepts of emotions of Kedusha. Zayin Tachtonos Tesag, that's the 7 lower levels of Shem Sag, of the name Havaya, that corresponds with Bina, or the Birur of the elevation through the that comes from the Birur Ma. So Shem Ban is elevated to Shem Sag through the Birur of the Rapach through Shem Ma. Even though he doesn't mention Ma here, but it's an elevation of Ban to its source. To have a great revelation of Kedusha, Vayin Mashakazu b'Parshas Vayishlach, so Dibur HaMaschil v'Yavek Yishchul v'Zeu Sha'Parah Balet Taher Tumas Meis, and that's the idea that the heifer comes to purify the impurity of the dead body. Hainu b'chinas shviras hakelim design melachim anal, and that's the idea of the breaking of the vessels of the 7 kings Shinikra v'Yamoschul, that's called that they died, mandinafil darge ikri meis, that someone who falls from their level is called dead. Vayin mashakaz val pasuk v'al chil chasaman chulu. Look what's brought in the verse, that he made you, that he gave you the man to eat. V'zeu shekorim Parshas Para kodem Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and that's why we read the Parsha of Para before the Rosh Chodesh of Nisan. Litarv lavo lebechinas yitzias Mitzrayim chulu, to be purified and to come to the concept of going out of Mitzrayim, like he brought before that Sham Karu Leparo Melech Mitzrayim, that the concept of Mitzrayim is Sham is the place of Klippos, and in order to go out, to have the purifying the emotions and Sfiros Omer and so forth, it comes from, you first have to get rid of the bad, the Sreifas Para, which is getting rid of the bad emotions, to get the Koach Amitaive and into its Chomer Pashut, in order to elevate it to emotions of Kedusha.